sick every time.
Well, there could be music. There is music, actually. You just don't hear it when we're recording.
I'm so used to hearing it. So it's very difficult for me to get used to.
Yeah, well, welcome to Dream Stories.
Why, thank you once again.
Yes. Well, we're glad to be back because we've been away for a little while. We recorded some episodes at a conference we were at, and thank goodness that we recorded episodes in advance. We only missed really 1 week of the show, but we were
Is that
down.
when we have a show?
Podcast show
I was
thing
just
we
curious.
do, yeah.
Now I suddenly feel like I need to dress up, make sure my hair is fixed if we're having a show.
No, it's not just be you. It's just be normal.
You know, I used to before we filmed.
But yeah, now the camera's on you, so you feel like
we
everything.
filmed, I would wear my pajamas.
It's true. Your pajamas and your coffee.
Yeah, and even today I was thinking I'm doing a little bit of the COVID thing. You know how people would wear their suits and everything, but below the jacket it was boxer
Well, you do
shorts
have pants,
or
though.
pajama pants. Oh, I have on something. It's just
It's
doesn't-
not as nice as your shirt.
Yes, it doesn't match what I have on.
Yeah, that's okay. So as I was saying,
Okay, go
we
ahead.
only actually missed one episode.
Yeah.
But the folks may not know, we were, well, I was really sick. We were both very sick.
Oh my goodness.
I ended up in the hospital with pneumonia,
Yeah.
and you were very sick as well. So
I was sick, but not as sick as you, babe.
I know, thank you. I really appreciate that you would acknowledge that I was much sicker. So
Yeah. You were very sick. Yeah.
I mean, we were down for about 3 weeks. If we had not recorded a couple of 3 episodes in advance during the conference, we would have really been off pretty bad. So anyway, we missed you guys last week, and we're sorry we didn't get to get an episode up, but we're excited we got one up this week, and we're going to talk about sick dreams. Not sick dreams, but dreams when you're sick.
Sick
Or body
dreams.
dreams. Yeah, body dreams.
I was lost there for a minute. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about some sick dreams.
We're going to talk about
people.
some sick dreams. Yeah, we're really hip with the modern language.
Are we?
No, definitely not.
Okay, good. I'm still confused, but it's okay.
Okay.
That's not unusual.
No, actually, I was thinking we would talk about. I had like 2 dreams during the time that I was really, really sick,
Oh yeah.
and
I said we need to talk about
we did. I
those.
shared those with you.
Mm-hmm.
I, however, did something I tell everybody not to do, which is I didn't write them down.
Well, I do not remember what they were.
I remember the first one that started it, and I know what the second one was about, but it was kind of this series of things that I thought was interesting because we tell people all the time that any dream is a good dream. Any dream is a dream that if you have a spirit-led interpretation to any dream, no matter where it comes from, it can have value. And so 3 sources of dreams. We have dreams that come from God, dreams that come from the enemy, and dreams that come from our own soul.
Right.
And basically, when we talk about soul dreams, dreams that are our wants, our desires, our, what we think, and feel, we often think of those as not being good dreams. Yet, we know that if we're listening to the Spirit of God, He can reveal things to us through those dreams.
Right.
And one of the types of dreams that comes up as a soul dream is what we would call a body dream. Mm-hmm. And a body dream is a dream that arises out of a physical response of your body. So being sick, fever, pain in various fashions, things like that. Stress can be a body dream, right? And then we have things called chemical dreams, which are dreams that are caused by chemicals. That would be drugs, legal or illegal, medications, things like that, or spices, pizza, the typical proverbial pizza dream. That could be a chemical dream. But what happened during the time we were sick, so I guess maybe it's important to say, we had the event that we recorded some of the previous podcast episodes during, And then I was preaching at a church on Sunday morning after the event was over and began to get sick during that service.
Right.
And so body aches, muscle pain, fever, 103, just generally exhausted, not feeling good. Had a COVID test, negative. Had a send-off COVID test, negative. Had a flu test, negative. Doctor doesn't know what's going on with us, doesn't know what's going on with me. And we're supposed to go on vacation in like 10 days by this point in the process, about 2 weeks from when I first got sick. But I was supposed to go on vacation about 10 days. So on a Thursday-ish, I think it was, I had a dream. And I don't know if you remember. Well, I know you remember because I complained pretty bad about it. My neck was sore.
How could I not remember?
Well, my neck really hurt.
I know. I felt bad for you.
Well, it was it was like, I was like, give me something because the pain was pretty bad. It was, I don't know, I guess it was like a pulled muscle. If you're watching on camera, it was like a shoulder, neck, pain, muscle, like a torn muscle or a pulled muscle or something like that. It was really sore. I went to bed on, I think it was like when did I go to the hospital? It was on a Monday. Was it on a Monday or on the weekend?
I think it was on the weekend.
It was on a Monday or on a Sunday afternoon. One of the two. Anyway, whenever it was.
It was on the weekend.
Okay, so it was a Sunday afternoon.
You couldn't get your doctor.
I couldn't get the doctor. That's right. So it was on a Sunday afternoon. I went to the hospital. So let's see. It would have been on Thursday night. Thursday night. My neck was I was having very severe pain, and I went to sleep. And I dreamed all night long. That's not like me. You dream 5, 6, 8, 10, 15, 30 dreams a night.
Not that many, but I do dream a lot. And I don't always
Well, it's not uncommon at all for you to dream 3 or 4 dreams in a night. So, but I dreamed all night long. Literally. I woke up off and on all through that night because of the pain in my shoulder / neck. And I was dreaming between going to sleep and waking up all night. I mean, just a continuous process. Mm-hmm. The problem was I dreamed all night that I was in pain. Mm. So I'm awake and I'm in pain. Mm. I'm asleep and I'm dreaming that I'm in pain.
So basically you're experiencing pain 24/7.
Yeah, there was no relief. I mean, normally you think you go to sleep and you at least don't deal with the pain.
Right.
But here I was, awake, feeling it, asleep, dreaming it.
Yeah.
And so that's a body dream. My body was causing a reaction that invaded my dream time, right? Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely happens. And we have one of our sons, the one who happens to be wearing the same color shirt you and I are wearing tonight.
He said it's not the same shirt. He said it's not the same color.
It's a slightly different shade.
Okay.
Anyway, he one time he had such a high fever and was so sick that he was dreaming, kind of hallucinating.
We could make him come over here and tell.
I don't think he will.
He won't do it. I think he's actually running the programming tonight, and so he's like locked into position in the studio. So anyway.
He had some really strange experiences that he verbalized to me. He dreamed he was a dog, and he dreamed he
had a tattoo.
That he had a tattoo.
He's a dog with a tattoo,
with a collar on, and just all these strange things. So his fever, I think, got up to like 104 or 105 that night. I think he had strep and all kinds of stuff going on. He was like 5 or 6 years old. But anyway, even children can experience, weird, strange experiences and dreams that are affected because they're sick, Yeah. So, I mean, we've seen that even with our own children.
Yeah, and so you deal with this response of your body that, let's be honest, if I'm going to interpret my dream from the pain in my neck, not that I am a pain in the neck.
was
I knew I could look.
just-
I could see in your eyes you were about to go there.
Well, you took it from me. So
I
go
know.
on.
Thank you. I'm very. I would rather just do it myself.
Okay.
So if I'm going to interpret that, how do you interpret it? Right? I mean,
You're a pain in the
does
neck.
it?
Sorry.
Well, I set myself up for that one. So
Yes, you did. Anyway, I'm sorry.
okay.
You're not a pain
no, it's
in
okay.
the neck.
No, I know I am. So anyway, if I'm going to interpret that, how do I interpret it? It doesn't seem like there would be any real interpretation. It's a body dream. Okay. The interpretation of that dream is you were in pain and your body was responding to it. This is important. This is serious. You can't let this go. When really that's the interpretation. This was a dream that, in my opinion, was a body dream that God allowed me to have to say, this is serious.
Yeah, because, well, I don't know if I can speak freely or if you're building up to it.
No, you can speak freely.
Yeah. So, of course, everybody knows I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
And when you start telling me your neck's hurting after several days, I begin to, I won't tell people, oh, you don't have this or you don't have that, because first of all, I'm not a doctor. Second of all, I haven't seen any lab work or anything like that. So I'm not going to just say, oh, you don't have this or you don't have that. So
Or everything's fine.
yes, and I have these in the back of my head. I'm like, okay, you having, neck pain or stiff neck, and you're going, I don't mean it's bad. I don't mean it's bad, but you were going on about it because it was really bothering you.
It was really hurting.
And
right.
I was trying several therapies to, heat, cold, all types of things to help alleviate it, because, Tylenol, ibuprofen, you can try those sometimes, but some things you can't take. So, after a while, I just finally said, you're going to have to go to the doctor.
You did. You were telling me, and I didn't want to go to the doctor.
Had you not had the dream to where it made it very important to you or significant to you, you might not would have gone even with me encouraging you to go.
No, that's true. And not that I don't value your advice and your wisdom as a nurse, but I am stubborn. I said I'm stiff-necked.
You're not stiff-necked, and you're not a pain in the neck.
Stubborn, though.
But you're stubborn. Okay.
That's right. And it's true.
Okay.
I mean, I know. I'm very headstrong. Mm-hmm. I'm a type A personality. Mm-hmm. I'm always right.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. I was waiting on that.
Okay.
I figured it would be a smart aleck statement, but I was still waiting on it. And I didn't. I mean, I don't know why I didn't want to go to the doctor. I got a teleappointment. What do you call it? The video
telehealth
call. Yeah, telehealth appointment. Mm-hmm. And had talked to the doctor, and he said, well, you did right. You got a COVID test. You got
if
a
you
flu
get
test.
worse,
if
let
you get
me
worse,
know.
let me know.
You
and
tried.
We called, which was really interesting, because this is why I think it was a spiritual issue, because we called and his answering service never conveyed the phone call to him. Matter of fact, the medical office had to open an investigation type thing. I don't know exactly what they do, but they interviewed me about why, when did you call and all this kind of stuff, because it's important. When a doctor doesn't get a message from you when you call in and you're sick, that's important.
But it wasn't only spiritual. You had a physical problem as well.
Yes, but I mean, what I'm saying is the physical problem and a spiritual issue going on at the same time, and that's part of what the dream was about. The dream's a body dream that said this is important. This is significant. Yeah. And then see the dream I didn't write down. I had a warfare dream, a dream inspired from the enemy, from the demonic, which was I was fighting, and I can't remember all of what was going on, but I was fighting to overcome something. Then I was in this battle the next night. So this is on Thursday night, I have the body dream, and I'm feeling the pain. On Friday night, I have this warfare dream, and I'm fighting.
I thought there was one that, because I want to say you were fighting, and I was trying to decide, do I wake you or do I leave you alone? And most of the time, you always say, don't bother me. Let me finish my dream, because you tell me.
Right.
You always wake me up when I don't want to be woken
up. In the middle of the dream, and then I don't finish it.
I'm just the opposite. I want you to wake me up because I'm having this terrible encounter.
Well, I want to complete the process of whatever's going on with the dream.
You go right ahead. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is, I think that night or that morning, whatever it was when you had that dream, I decided not to bother you.
You did. That's right.
And you said to me when you woke up, you go, I was paralyzed. I couldn't move or I couldn't do something. And I remember thinking, oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have helped you, But anyway, you wound up having pneumonia. And
yes.
had you not had the dream about your neck hurting and it going on and on and it being really emphasized to you, I'm not sure you would have gone to the hospital to be checked. And guess what? You probably just would have went to the doc in the box. They may not would have checked you thoroughly like they did with the scans and everything. Yeah. Sometimes you don't pick up pneumonia on certain scans, and they did, I think, a CT for you.
They did
because they were a little bit concerned about some other things. So,
well, and here's what happened that I think is interesting from the dream perspective. I have the body dream. Okay, that's a soul dream.
The one where your neck's hurting.
The one where my neck's hurting. I have the warfare dream where I'm doing the battle and I end up paralyzed. That's a dark dream. That's a dream from the enemy. Well, there's three sources of dreams: God, the demonic, and the soul. I'm honest to goodness. Thursday night, body dream, soul dream. Friday night, warfare dream, demonic dream. I'm absolutely convinced on Saturday night I'm going to have a healing dream, a God dream, and I'm going to be healed and everything's going to be fine. I'm just totally convinced of that. I don't even know if I told you that.
No, you didn't.
But I was totally convinced, okay, all three sources. I'm ready to go to bed tonight on Saturday night because I'm going to have a healing dream and I'm going to be healed and I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I wake up on Sunday morning and I'm miserable.
Yeah, you just could not quit coughing. I mean, it was...
And I didn't get any better. Actually, the truth is I woke up on Sunday morning and I was feeling a little bit better. And I convinced myself, I talked myself into, okay, then... And here's what it was. I was making those first two dreams what I wanted them to be.
Oh.
And this is what this, so in my own strength, now I do dreams all the time. I interpret dreams all the time, but these are my dreams now. In my own strength, with my own mindset, I decided what I wanted the dreams to mean instead of even asking God, asking the Spirit of God, what did they mean? Right. Why did I have them? Right. I decided what they ought to mean.
Yeah, it's pretty important, I think, that first of all, we prepare ourselves, which I think it's interesting. You had said you had decided you were going to have a healing dream, which I don't think is bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think it could have been, that could have been faith.
It could have been faith.
I didn't have any dream on Saturday night.
And it could have been that it occurred that way,
right.
But it didn't. So, and now looking back, sometimes we don't know these things until it's retrospect, right?
And absolutely looking back at it, because I have the soul dream, the demonic dream. I'm expecting a God dream for healing. And this is what I thought was cool. Not having that dream was just as significant as if I had had one and been healed, because not having it said this, looking back at it now.
Yeah.
I can say, here's the interpretation. The first dream said, this is a serious issue going on in your body. The second dream said, this is a spiritual warfare issue. It's not just sickness. This is an attack against you. This is something designed to take you out. I don't mean kill you, but, to just cripple you in a sense. And so these are serious. You need to take it serious. And really, to me, those things were dreams that God allowed me to have, saying, go to the doctor and take this serious. Because I didn't have the God dream with healing. Right. But I was trying to make it happen. So I'm moving in my own strength, thinking I can make God heal me by determining. It wasn't faith.
Yeah.
It could have been, but I don't think it was in my case. It was a soulish decision. I want this. It's going to be this way, and God's going to do it the way I want him to.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do that.
No. He won't be put in a box.
No. And we forget sometimes. Listen, if you're watching or you're listening to this and you're a Christian and you believe in supernatural healing, miraculous healing, I'm not challenging that whatsoever. I believe in that 100%.
Right.
But I also believe God uses medicine to bring healing to people.
Right.
And so there's a balance that he does both of those things. And in this case, for whatever reason, he wanted me to get a diagnosis and get the medical assistance. So we called the doctor. Doctors come. by Sunday afternoon, I remember being on the phone with you. I'm here at the house. You had gone to do probably work on the house we're working on that you're flipping. Probably you were feeling better and gone over there. And you said, you need to go to the doctor.
I think I was at home.
No, because you weren't home when I left to go to the doctor. I drove myself to the doctor because if you'd been home, you would have taken me.
That's true.
Yeah, but I drove
I was
myself.
somewhere else.
You were somewhere else. I don't. But anyway, so you said you need to go to the doctor, and I remember my doctor said, if you get bad, you can't get me, or if you get bad enough, go to the emergency, not the emergency room, but the urgent care.
I was at the flip house because you called me and I said, stop by here and I'll take you. Yeah. You said, no, I'm fine. I'll go on.
Yeah, because I was feeling bad and it was kind of waves. And I was in one of those up waves where I thought, well, I'll just drive myself.
I know one of the reasons why you don't like, when you get sick, you don't like to call is because you like for me to go with you.
I know.
And COVID doesn't allow that right now.
That's right. You can't even go in or anything right now, still in the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, kind of how they want to do it because there are all kind of people going in and out. But so I go to the urgent care clinic. And let's be honest, I've got severe neck pain, which I mentioned to them as one of my symptoms. And their mind goes straight to the same things yours did, which was this could be meningitis.
Yeah.
And so they,
I mean,
I'm at the urgent care clinic. They won't let me come in the building.
I'll be honest with you. It had been on my mind for 2 or 3 days with you having neck pain, but I was watching you and
well, I know you didn't think I had it.
You weren't confused.
Right.
You weren't progressing and getting worse. So, I was sort of assessing you, but then you had this breakthrough moment. I was using warmth. Then we went to cold. Cold, and you were like, I feel better. It feels so much better. But it was still bothering you. I was pretty
confident it was muscular, right. But it was just still bothering me really bad.
But then
all I really wanted, just to be honest, probably why I went to the doctor, I just want to know, can I take a muscle relaxer? Is it all right with the other medication that I was taking? Was it okay for my heart? Is it okay to take a muscle relaxer?
I had already told you it was.
I know that. Just like we don't interpret our own dreams, you don't take your spouse nurses. No, I'm just kidding. It's not true.
I thought you were going to say my medicine. I was going to say I don't even have a muscle relaxer.
No, you don't take the nurse spouses. Anyway, don't worry about it.
Anyway, so, but look at you. You're healthy and.
Well, I am because they say you can't come in here. You're going to have to go to the emergency room. So I go spend 2 days or 14 hours or whatever it is in the hospital because the emergency room, for whatever reason, was like packed, like massively packed.
Yeah, it was bad.
And the first thing the ER doctor says to me when I say, hey, the urgent care people sent me here because they were afraid I had meningitis, he goes, you don't have meningitis. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah. And see, that's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't, He
was like, you're talking to me and you make sense. You don't have meningitis.
Yeah, yeah.
So he says, you've got symptoms that fit that on one hand, but the real important symptoms you don't have. Exactly. So he was like, but it's good. We'll do all this. And he does all those tests that probably, maybe wouldn't have shown up otherwise. Right. And we find out I've got pneumonia. And now I'm on God's track for how he wanted to deal with it. I know it's weird because you would think I would be moving in faith, wanting God to heal me. But in reality, I was moving in my own strength. And I was trying to just make the 2 dreams I had mean what I wanted them to. And when I didn't get the God dream, the healing dream, it was like, oh, that was the enemy. I can beat this. So it was all my own strength. It was not trusting God for anything.
You don't say these things out loud when you're thinking.
Oh, I know. Well, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of times when we say we heard God or we did. We don't really realize we did until after the fact when you're looking back at it. And when I say I was doing this in my strength and I was thinking this, I wasn't thinking about I was thinking those things in the moment.
I feel better. Okay.
I'm looking back at it thinking
that's how you
that's what I was doing because that's the attitude that I had when I look back at it and see my logic, my choices, the decisions I was making, the way I was responding. I would have told anybody else you're operating in your own strength and you're expecting God to do what you want him to, and he didn't work that way.
It's so important that we really step back sometimes, especially when we're talking about dreams, or even just feeling, God talking to us, and that we really make sure that we're not putting our own spin on it, that we're not, and I'm not saying you were trying to spin your dream, but if it seems logical or if it seems right to us in that moment, it's not always the case, and so we can be, first of all, if we're really looking at our dreams and we really maybe put too much emphasis on them, it could lead us down a road that is not a good road if we live by that, So we have to keep it in perspective. It's a gentle or general guide or something that can kind of point us in one area. But we should also
one way that God speaks to us. It's not the way that God speaks to us.
And it is also just a very general way of just saying, okay, that's one kind of one communication from God, but there can be other manifestations from other people, confirmation. So here's wife saying,
you were saying go to the doctor.
Go.
Other people were saying go to the doctor.
Exactly. And I was really worried about you when you were
the doctor said go to the doctor.
Yes, yeah. So I'm glad you did. You did the right thing. It took a while for breakthrough.
It did, but let's just say they put me on IV antibiotics. They sent me home on antibiotics. I mean, literally within a couple of days, I was the muscle pain, the fever, all that kind of stuff gone. I'm feeling good again. Now, we went on vacation with me. I couldn't even walk around all day.
Well, it kind of forced you to rest a little bit.
It did. It forced me to be still and rest. And that wasn't a bad thing. No,
that's
so it's good. So, but anyway.
So even a master dream interpreter can get it wrong sometimes.
You can. And I think that's important for people to understand. Just because I've been doing this for 20 years doesn't mean I always get it right.
Right.
And I think sometimes people, when they're first looking at trying to understand their own dreams. And matter of fact, it's often harder to understand your own dreams than it is to understand other people's dreams because you're biased.
Right.
And so when people are getting started, they kind of want to, sort of go with this idea that, it should be easy. It's not necessarily. It even when you've been doing it a long time and you have experience and understand it. So I do think it's good. I do feel better. I'm very happy I feel better. I've got my strength back. So those are all good things.
Yeah.
And we've got plenty to do and podcasts to record. Places to go and people to see.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's been good. So, and maybe we've been talking about just sort of bringing up other topics and talking about things kind of just related to God and not just focused 110% on dreams, kind of like Dream Stories Plus, kind of thing.
Right.
And maybe it's a good idea that we spend some time and talk about these other ways we hear God and things like that. Because we spend so much time talking about dreams, it can be important to dream interpretation just for people to help understand. It's easy to get so focused, you just make your own decisions. You fall into the very kind of traps I was falling into. I had to be willing to listen to the other things, like other people.
Yep.
And just wisdom.
Yeah.
And things like that.
And we don't know what that'll look like, but that is something we are talking about, isn't it?
It's good.
Trying to maybe cover some other topics.
Yeah. So, and I think they still relate back to dreams, so it's all good.
Cool.
Well, we're out of time. And so let me remind you again before we go, please like, share, and subscribe. Do all those kind of cool things. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Whooshka, I think it is our podcasting platform. But you can find the audio and video on our Facebook page. My Dream Stories, or Dream Stories podcast, I think it's listed as on Facebook. It'll be on the screen somewhere. But like, share, and subscribe. Those are one of the ways we know you're listening, we know you're watching, and it just helps us to feel encouraged that we should keep doing this, because there are times, and there have been times recently, we've thought, let's just stop. We've been doing this 3 years. Let's just quit. So if you enjoy it, please do like, share, and subscribe. It's a real blessing to us when you do that. And our time is up. So I guess it's come down to goodbye.
Keep dreaming.